Hey guys, it's Saturday, the 24th today. I've just been enjoying a day at the conference. We're talking about the Libertarian Conference, and everybody's talking about freedom and how we're going to make this place a better country and stuff. And of course, I'm always thinking about that too. Of course, I don't think politics is the solution. I think Jesus is the solution. I think he was the ultimate radical libertarian looking for freedom, and freedom comes from above and not for something coming out of your head. And I think that the greatest law of all is going to be the law of love. And how can we help love and serve people more? I think that's just a critical element of all of this. I find that when I am no matter what I read or what I'm sitting and listen to, whether it's something on the History Channel about Rome and how people built stuff then, or whether it's in a conference like this and they're talking about how do we get our word out better to supporters, to help them to do a better job. I'm always thinking of it in terms of how can I do my job better? How can I get the word out better? How can we work together better? One of the books that my son Jesse encouraged me to read was by a guy named Paul Graham. He's a great writer. He came up with a book called Hackers and Painters, talking about the similarities between doing computer work and programming languages and beauty and technology and just beauty in itself. And I really resonate with that too. I think everything that's done that is worthwhile has a certain beauty to it. I have this one quote that he said, Paul Graham, that made me stop, write it down, and then want to come and post something on this blog. It says that nothing is more powerful than a community of talented people working together on a related problem. And I think again how fortunate I am to be in the ATL there in Atlanta with friends of mine. Have for the last 10 years we've been working together. I think of guys like Chip Sweeney at Perimeter, and how from the very beginning we've tried to have a goal how to do this. I think about other guys on my team like Paul Reynolds doing church planning there in the apartment complexes, and Bennett at Candom, who's helping me with the work in the Muslim areas in Clarkston. The list just goes on and on about these guys that I think are in a talented group. One of the things Paul was saying, Paul Graham, was that these kind of hotbeds of communities, they're kind of rare, and I feel really very proud to be part of a community trying to do something different. I know as I go and I talk to different congregations and stuff, I always tell them that we need to have a feeling of urgency. That we're sitting back and taking it too easy, and what can we do better? How can we do it better? How can we achieve this goal faster? And I think one of the things that the Father has gifted me with is to be able to analyze, well, what is it that I do? How do I do this? How can I transfer this knowledge? I mean, that's a really big deal for me, is a transfer of knowledge. I feel like, I guess it's been because of working in news for so long, where I've seen so much sudden death, that I'm always very sensitive to seize the day, and that if any part of our organization has a bottleneck where it all comes down to just me, and if something happens to me, the whole thing collapses, I think that that's the wrong strategy. From the very beginning, I'm trying to train people to take my place in case something happens to me. And for those of y'all who have enjoyed listening to me or seeing me in person, or reading the blogs and stuff, I hope that you take that same advice, and that when you do something well, teach somebody else how to do it too. There has to be an exponential effect on this thing. That we can't do this by ourselves, and the more that we work together, uh, the faster the problem is going to be solved. I don't particularly like open-ended problems. I don't particularly like the idea that we've got forever to solve this, because I think whenever we have that feeling, we end up never solving it. One of the situations that I've thought a lot about from being in this conference is the idea of the federal government. I personally just think the federal government is just totally out of control, that they spend money just completely haphazardly, and they got to take my tax money to waste up there in Washington, and that bothers me no end. But at the same time, what's worse, to waste money or to waste time? And I think that if we don't have a goal, if we don't have a strategy, if we're not trying to make some kind of incremental progress towards that, it'll never be achieved. And if our goal is to try and really to reach all of Atlanta for Jesus, to at least have these people at least have a chance to hear, then we got to figure out how can we do this in a better, more effective and effective way. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a shortcut for that. I don't think we can just rent a helicopter and drop pamphlets out in all the different languages. It's all about relationships, and that takes time. But we cannot solve that issue unless we start. And, that's my prayer for us on our team at Whirlwind and all of my other partners, that every day we look at a fresh day, we need to start and just be sensitive to the opportunities that the Father puts around us all the time. And I appreciate you listening to this and watching this, and thanks for your prayers, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.